Hello all. Alright, here we are on a kind of a warm, muggy, drizzly California day, but it's really humid. It's usually not this humid and muggy. So today I'm going to talk about one of the causes of this heat. Let me go show you. So we're just going to do the chemical methane and how it's affecting the climate here on the planet Earth. What is methane? CH4. It's an odorless, colorless gas. It's a gas less dense than the air that we breathe. Methane is toxic when inhaled by itself, combustible, and is used in manufacturing, mostly methanol, which is then burned and turned into CO2. You may not know it, but most of commercial industry and the housing around the world is heated by methane, but it's heated that way in another sense. Let me show you. Through natural gas. 75% of natural gas is CH4, methane. 15% is ethanol, 5% is propane and other various gases. Okay, where does methane come from? Well, it comes from all over the place. It comes from the Arctic, it comes from land, it comes from down underneath the ocean, and it comes from human manufacturing. It also comes from livestock that humans grow. It also comes from all of animals. So methane is a pretty typical earthly gas. But let's go find out how high it's getting now. Okay, methane is measured in millibars as well as in parts per billion. I don't think we need to get into all that technical stuff, and I don't feel like researching exactly. So I'm just going to show you the basic level of increase in methane over the years, 2013, 2014, and 2015. As you can see, we're already past 2014. As a greenhouse gas, we're very concerned about it because of the rising temperatures on the globe. But methane, such as methane hydrate in the bottom of the oceans, acts strangely. Let me show you. So methane escaping hydrate formation in the ocean acts differently depending on how much pressure there is on it, meaning how deep it is, and how warm the water is. Alright, so if we're down quite a ways in the ocean, as the methane bubbles come up, they start to become absorbed by the water itself. And if it's really deep, the methane that's escaping will never make it into the atmosphere. It will just stay in the ocean. But there's a but to this, of course. So if the oceans are shallow and the water warm, the methane will easily get through the ocean water, the ocean column, and into the atmosphere, increasing the methane count in our own air. So what can we do about methane releases? Well, we can't do anything until we know what it is that we're doing that we can stop or change these releases. Let's go look at that. So Sam here, he made a study and found out this is where the methane is coming from and the percentages. Let's start over here. This is a pie chart. If you can't tell, I understand. 28.1% of methane is coming out of wetlands. That will increase as the temperature increases. This is as of just a few weeks ago. As we go around counterclockwise, lakes and fires contribute 16% of all the methane so far. Over here we have ocean hydrates, and permafrost is only 13% at this time. But look at this one in red. Yeah, that's the big one, isn't it? That's cows, rice, landfills, and waste. That's 25.9%, almost 26% of all the methane is coming from that. 17% is coming from fossil fuel use. Remember, we talked about heating through natural gas. That's causing about 17% release of methane. And so what I wanted to talk to you about this is this 25.9%. Cows, that's being a meat eater. You can easily do, your footprint can easily be shrunken in this area alone. Cows, that's eating meat. Chicken, poultry, any animal that eats vegetable matter is under cows. So eating meat is bad. That produces a lot of methane. Rice eating produces a lot of methane. Unfortunately, I do eat a lot of brown rice. So yes, this is new to me too. Landfills and waste. Well, we can easily reduce our waste by what kind of packaging we have around what we buy. If we buy things that don't have a lot of packaging around them, we're going to reduce our waste landfill and our methane release. So a lot of people like to get upset over the problems with the Arctic, you know, the hydrates and that sort of thing releasing to the air. But really, that's only about 13%. The big one is the one that we can control individually. Your waste, how you eat, what you put in your mouth. Remember, I keep talking about what you put in your mouth is so important, and how important it is. And this is why. Because we can reduce a large amount of world methane by just reducing the meat eating that the humans are doing. Just about got hit by another idiot on a mobile phone, not paying attention. Okay, what my question has to be is this. The fix is obvious, what we need to do. I've talked about it over and over and over. We know we have about 5 years before things get really bad, and maybe till 2020 before we start seeing massive die-offs. However, we just saw India lose over 2,000 people from a heat wave. And the real heat wave is not over India, it's over the Indian Ocean. If that heat wave had hit India, the death toll would have been staggering. So it's really close, as they're saying. You know, the numbers are 10 degrees Celsius above normal now in the Arctic. Unbelievable. So how does methane affect global climate change? Let's go over to the board and take a look. It works just like CO2 does. Sun rays, radiation comes down through the atmosphere, hits the ground, heats up the ground, comes back up, hits the methane molecules, and gets reflected back down to the ground, adding more heat. Then it gets reflected back up, hits the methane again, and comes back down on the planet. This only happens a short time, maybe a year or two, and then the methane fades away. So methane is short-lived. However, it is continuously pumped into the atmosphere through natural and human causes. And right now, let's go look and see what a projection of how high and when methane is supposed to peak here. Okay, now these are all estimates, but they're thinking that because of a feedback loop that the methane releases will continue to go up by 2020, and by 2050 they'll be going so fast and so hard up that human die-offs will be caused just from the methane emissions alone in global climate change. So it looks like we'll be going up, and then there'll be this feedback loop which will make it go almost straight up. So as you can see, we're sort of in a dire situation with the methane, and with the CO2 on top of that, and the increasing human population. It's not looking too good. Some people are saying that we'll see major human die-offs as early as 2050 or 2020. Some even say in 5 more years humans will start to die off and will have a lot of breathing problems because we've changed the atmosphere that we breathe so severely that we can no longer even breathe the air. So it's going to get interesting, but just see what you can do about your meals. If you can cut down on meat or stop meat altogether, believe me, the planet, you can do a lot. That's probably one of the best things you can do for our planet, is stop eating meat, stop driving big cars, stop driving if you can, start riding a bicycle. It's positive for everything. Because you become a vegetarian, you're going to be much healthier. You're not going to be staying in the hospital much. And because you're riding a bicycle, you're giving your body the exercise it needs. So it's nothing but positive ways that people can change. So I'm going to ask you this. I know that most people don't really care about how long they live or what they die of or how they die. They just want to live their life without thinking about it. But my question is, are you willing to change your lifestyle a small amount to save your loved ones, your wife, your partner, your children, your parents, your sisters, your brothers? Are you willing to become a vegetarian for them? Okay guys, I've got a really cool video down in the description area. It's about 3 minutes long. It's well worth the watch. I really appreciate the comments and the ups and the downs, and until next time.